Afternoon to you, Paul, and to you, Naomi. And Naomi, from your point of view, how did that feel having done that at that time? How was your nutrition during your run?
And Paul's right. I think it is really important to understand what your baseline carbohydrate need is. And mine was probably less than what I was having. And so we'd been through all those exercises during training. So I did feel like I was regulating my carbohydrate intake really well. And because he'd also talked to me about the sodium and water balance, hypo and hypernatremia, I was also able to, I don't know if I did it successfully, but I was watching for that and then trying to adjust intake accordingly. So again, it's actually really empowering when you feel like you can, and whether it works or not, but you're more engaged in this journey rather than just being, you're at the mercy of your body. I felt like I was actually a little bit in control, even though that's a bit of a fantasy, but you know what I mean? So that was great. And I knew we had this plan. Paul had talked to me about caffeine and its effects, your physiological effects. And then he talked to me about the effect of sunrise and the serotonin. So again, I knew that was part of our plan. But oh gosh, when I took that caffeine, it was like it just worked. And I just felt like I was on fire and I wanted to run.
Yeah.
And I think Paul was going, slow down, because I'm going faster than what I should be. This is fantastic. I'm just feeling fantastic. So it definitely works. Have that experience and know that it was part of the plan. But also, again, it was rather than being this passive participant in the experience, I actually felt like I was driving it. And I remember even sort of talking to Paul a bit about as we're going, I'm like, oh, or he'd ask me, how your feet feeling? Are they feeling puffy? And I'd like, oh, they are. Well, let's just change. We're going to back off the salt and do this. And so it was like having a science experiment with the mad professor.
Brilliant. Nice.
So again, it made it a bit more mentally engaging too. You're reading your body signals and you've got some information about how to change and what to do. So again, it's this sense of, again, I use the word control a little bit tongue in cheek, but it does, you feel more in charge. And then whether that has a mental thing too, a little bit, I've got this. And then when I was with Paul, I knew I could run things past him or say, look, I'm feeling like this. Or certainly nutrition wise, towards the end, I think I was eating, I don't know if you have them in the UK. We call them Nice biscuits here. They're
I know them.
So I was kind of, oh, well, it's working. It's going down. So towards the end, I was sort of nibbling on those a bit. But Paul had talked about fatigue, taste fatigue, go with how you feel, use thirst as an indicator. So I was doing that. So I felt quite not sort of so at the whim of everything else. I did feel at least I could try and problem solve things a bit.
It was good just to have that there in case.
And I did have, Paul had talked about the A food plan, the B food plan, the C food plan. So I did have lots of options ready to go in case I felt like something different.
Yeah.
So again, really well prepared, reduces stress for everyone. So it had all our bases covered.
Oh, brilliant. It sounds like you were really prepared and the nutrition was a good choice for you. And Paul, would there be anything different that you would do for the training for Naomi? Looking back on it, would there be anything else that you would have done differently, or were you happy the way that everything went?
There's probably a couple of things. We did a few, instead of doing volume, really long runs, what we did was back-to-backs. And I probably would have done more of that. I wouldn't have included more long runs. I think with Naomi's, some of the previous risks, etc., that would have been detrimental. But we could have done more what I call back-to-backs. So run in the morning, run in the afternoon. She did Warwick Pentathlon, which is 42 kilometers across, I think, 5 different races, which was good for that. We did a chores day, which is around about 15 minutes run every hour. For how long did we go for? 14 hours?
I think I did 37 Ks. So it was about 14 hours.
14 hours, so every hour. And it gives you that resilience of just turning up, because at the back end of that, you get really tired. But you still got to get going. You've got to loosen up those muscles again and move. And those little exercises just build resilience. But I think the one thing I would have done more of is run on a Saturday or run on a Sunday, and a little bit more backing up. That's probably the only thing, because the main thing I wanted to build into with Naomi was that resilience and the strength to actually get through the race. That wasn't about pace.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about aerobic fitness. We knew she had that from the metabolic tests. It was about getting the right level of volume without creating the physical stress that's going to cause injury. So I was very controlled. The message from Naomi was, I want to finish. It wasn't about time.
Yeah.
So we took a lower risk approach, not trying to build speed, making sure she could get through the race, which I think worked perfectly. Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant. Naomi, again, congratulations. Honestly, I can't even
Thanks, Tori.
begin to think. I've never done anything that extreme, so I am in awe of you being able to do that. And Paul just highlighted, and he has mentioned before about going in for the tests. How did you feel going for the tests, and were you surprised by the result for yourself?
I was like, it was the first time anyone had ever recommended it. And I kind of felt a bit like, what is it where you feel like you're imposter syndrome? Oh gosh, that's only what Uber athletes do. Anyway, turned up, did the treadmill test, which was interesting again. And I think that's Paul's approach. I think he wants to get the whole picture. And then from that, he can be specific and individualized.
Yeah.
So there's no sort of generic plan or anything like that. So that again from the get-go was like, gosh, this is really different. And that's why I was absolutely open to it. Learnt about what my fueling would look like as a consequence. And so again, going into, I never felt underprepared. I felt really confident going into this. And that's an absolute gift.
Absolutely.
So I think that that was a really good thing to do. And then Paul, you get the report, and Paul sat down with me and explained what each different component of the report meant, and then how that would flow into fueling. So it was a great experience.
Oh, it sounds absolutely amazing. And what's your next journey now? You know, have you got any more plans to do any more or anything else to challenge
Okay, so my husband's not here. No, look, to be honest, I'm not really. Part of me would like to do another one now, and maybe look at speed a bit more now that I've got that mental thing of I can get through the distance, but I'd like to do one now where maybe I could perhaps look for a time. That's part of it. And maybe just dropping back to doing some more 50Ks, maybe, I don't know. Nothing. I talked to Paul a bit about the Larapincha Trail, but again, that's sort of a bit more distant. Maybe I haven't talked to Paul about that, but
interesting. The multi-day is different to that long.
So that might be down the track. Yes, nothing firm at the moment, just enjoying being a bit more relaxed about everything in terms of just chilling out a bit. So, but I'll definitely, knowing me, I'll come up with something soon. And yes.
Oh, well, honestly, once again, well done. Or in absolute awe, and congratulations on starting the new job as well. So
thanks.
Celebratory weekend for you to just embrace and enjoy. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for sharing everything that you did to help Naomi reach her goal today.
It's been an absolute pleasure coaching Naomi. Listen, she's inquisitive athletes, because they ask the questions and they give me the right information as well because they're inquisitive. So, and that's part of the journey of relationship coach and athlete. But so proud of me getting through that. However, next time I am not running 66 kilometers.
You sure? All right, I'll let you off.
You have the lessons now. I'll do lessons.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, well, thank you very much, both of you, for your time. Enjoy. It's now, I think, 5 o'clock by you guys, is it? So enjoy your evening, and we'll chat again soon.
Thank you.